So hi everyone, we're here to introduce our proposal for the Gillette case competition. My name is Alexandra Murphy.
I'm Jake D'Ambrosio.
I'm Eugenia Jenkins.
I'm Ali Gar.
And I'm Hunter Sheridan.
So just a quick run through of our executive summary. The challenge Gillette has been facing in recent years is a sales decline due to the emergence of online shave club markets. Some of these include Dollar Shave Club and Harry's, which offer less expensive online subscriptions that are delivered straight to consumers' homes, completely eliminating the factor of having to go out to a store and buying a razor, really emphasizing the convenience of their services. So Gillette has been unable to compete in this market, so we are proposing a solution of introducing his and her packs. We believe this will work because Gillette also owns Venus, a women's razor line which completely dominates the women's market. So by introducing his and her packs, we hope to reach a broader target market, kind of honing in on the women who are doing the shopping and their husbands and other members of their family. Our execution strategy for the solution will be to focus on targeted marketing for couples. It's been done with other products in the past, such as perfumes, which we'll get into later. We think this will be good because it'll really emphasize the importance of shopping at brick and mortar stores and should really draw in our target market in these settings.
When people hear the name Gillette, they think high quality. So for years, Gillette's old strategy has been to add new features while raising prices steadily. So with products like the Fusion 5 Pro Glide and Pro Shield Chill, this wasn't a problem for many years because their quality surpassed all other razor brands. But now, with the new wave of ordering cheap blades online, people don't really care as much about quality because of the high convenience of ordering these blades online. So Gillette has tried but failed to break into this market because Gillette is considered a brand of high quality. So people wouldn't go online to search for Gillette Shave Club because they'll probably assume that it's one of the higher costs. Also, people who buy Gillette typically are higher income families, so they would not be so concerned about buying online or the convenience of having them sent straight to their house. So Gillette should not be trying to sink to the level of Harry's and Dollar Shave Club when they have a higher quality product. So to sum it up, Gillette's old strategy of adding new features and raising prices, plus the new wave of ordering cheap blades online, has led to declining Gillette sales. As you can see by this graph, from 2013 to 2017, Gillette sales have declined by 7.1%. So this means that Gillette really has to try to find a new way to stay relevant. But it's hard for Gillette to do this because they're high quality, so they're gonna have to try to find a way to meet the convenience of the online Dollar Shave Clubs and the high quality of Gillette in one package. So we believe that the best way to do this is by leveraging the power that they already have with Venus and using the convenience of already having somebody who goes out and shops. And by combining these two things, they should be able to try to gain back some market share.
Thank you, Jake. Now getting to our proposed solution. As we've already mentioned, we want to tie up with Venus and we want to introduce combo packs for couples. We want to include a marketing strategy whereby we could gift these couple shave kits to married couples on things like anniversaries. And even if we're able to retain about 20% of non-Gillette customers, that is a huge market share that Gillette will be able to increase through such a strategy. Another marketing strategy we thought Gillette would find helpful is advertising in advertising in fashion magazines. Such magazines are often read by women and they would get attracted to combo packs. Now getting to our target audience, we want to target married couples. This has been a market that has previously worked very well for Gillette, and this is a market that has growing potential. 89% of Gillette's current customers are over 35, and 68% of them live in a household of 2 or more people. So we believe that This is a market where Gillette has done well in previously, and this is a market where Gillette has a lot of scope, and this is a safe bet, and Gillette should go with it. Now, getting to why we think that marketing to women is such a good idea. Women are responsible for $4.3 billion of consumer spending. That is about 70 to 80% of all consumer spending. And we believe the main problem Gillette is facing is lack of convenience. And since women are going out and doing so much of the shopping already, it would just be so much simpler for them to buy a combo bag.
So we've already seen similar his and her packaging approaches with items such as perfume. Leading brands such as Hugo Boss and Burberry have utilized these strategies, but particularly Emporio Armani, who has 5% of the market share in perfumes. So just last year, they released a his and her perfume, as you can see here. And just within the first year, they generated nearly $250 million in sales solely from this perfume. As this quote says, "Gone are days of merely dressing like your partner." People are utilizing these strategies to connect couples in ways like never before. And this is exactly why we're going to connect couples through shaving. So as you can see here, this is an example of what a potential Gillette Venus his and her pack will look like. And so as you can see in this example, we have the Venus Embrace paired with the Gillette Fusion Power. And so when women are shopping in stores, they'll notice their Venus razor that they typically shop for and will buy the Gillette razor that it is packaged with. So as we have talked about a little bit, Venus dominates the women's market for razors. They have 47.5% of sales last year. As you can see in this graph, and that compares to only 20.2% of its competitor. So as you can see, Gillette Venus is very prominent in its market, and by utilizing this market share, Gillette can pair with Venus, tap into this women market, and spread exposure to their product, therefore increasing sales.
Sorry, just to jump in for a minute. So this is an example of what probably like a starter pack for his and hers could look like. And once the consumer went out and bought this, and the Gillette and the razor, the Gillette and the Venus razors were both in the home, Gillette would continue to generate business off of this because from this point on, the male has the Gillette razor and continues to buy Gillette cartridges, increasing revenue for Gillette long after the initial his and her product has been sold.
So now just to look at some of the numbers to back up our proposal. So starting out, just looking at Gillette's market share, in 2010 it had about 70% market share, and over 6 years we've seen this decline to 54% market share in the men's razor market. And the main reason for this is the introduction of, as we've mentioned previously, e-commerce markets and companies such as the Dollar Shave Club and Harry's. In fact, the Dollar Shave Club alone has about 52% of revenue in the e-commerce shaving industry. And so from our perspective, we know that Gillette has quality products, it has a very strong brand name, and so the reason behind this market share decline was the convenience. That's what Gillette's lacking. And so we thought about trying to pursue the e-commerce market, but this really didn't make sense for Gillette. So just to start out, Gillette has always had a really strong brick and mortar presence. It understands retail stores very well. It has a lot of historical data it can draw from, and it knows what customers will like because it has done pretty well in the past. So it just makes sense to stay in a brick and mortar retail store. Also, companies like Harry's and the Dollar Shave Club, they're specialists at just doing online razor sales, so it doesn't make sense for Gillette to try to cover retail stores and online sales, especially when there's people who already do it and they do it very well because they have a large percentage of the market. And then finally, Gillette already has an e-commerce program, and it's doing okay, but not as well as it should be. They've poured a lot of capital into it, especially over the last 4 years, and it's just not performing as well as Gillette would like to see it do. And so just to look at some of the costs of implementing this new packaging for his and her product. So the first cost is development of the packaging. So we allocated $1 million for this, and this is just physically making the packaging. So, whatever needs to be done, whether it's acquiring the materials or using or buying factories to put it together and pay for the utilities that are associated with that. And then we allocated $10 million for an advertising expense. So we really didn't think we needed to do too much advertising just because so many consumers know about Gillette. So many consumers know what Gillette stands for. But this advertising expense, as Avi mentioned, would include the gift packages for couples' anniversaries, and it would also include the fashion magazines that we are targeting to appeal to women who are in relationships. And then finally, the new machinery. So whether it's just purchasing a new machine to make the new packaging, we also use this to include just any miscellaneous costs that we might have missed originally. So in total, this would sum up to $16 million cost, which will be well worth the revenue, which we'll now talk about. So just looking at the revenue, in 2016, Gillette had about $6.8 billion of revenue, and we think that we can increase this. So as we mentioned on this slide, Gillette lost about 16% of market share in 6 years, and we think we can gain this back, and we can gain more customers with our added convenience. And so in the next 5 years, starting 2019, we project revenue increases of about 3 to 5.5%, just to give you a range. And we expect to see the Fusion 5 razors have a larger revenue increase than the Mach 3 razors. And this is because Fusion 5 is known as a higher quality product. And as we mentioned, our customers who have the money and want the quality in their razor purchases. So we expect this to increase about twice as fast as the Mach 3 razor, just because a lot of customers in the shaving industry do value a low cost. We know that revenue will increase for our Mach 3 razors. And so we expect this to be a great increase in revenue for Gillette, and it's shown by, again, as we mentioned, a range of about 3 to 5.5% of an increase in revenue for the next 5 years. It's really uncertain what will happen after that just because of the changing industry, but that's as confident as we feel predicting out to.
So in conclusion, for Gillette, we really believe that creating a new dominating branch of marketing and distribution that targets married couples is the way to go. We talked about it earlier it's had success with perfumes. Armani now pretty much has the largest single perfume market share in the perfume market. We believe that this is the best way to kind of break into a market that Gillette does not already have complete control of, and to keep Gillette there. So by buying these razors, by having the women buy these razors for their husband, the Gillette razors in the homes that it might not have previously been in. When you already have the razor there, it's much easier to go out, and it's a no-brainer to just pick up the cartridges at the store, rather than, I believe that's more convenient than getting on a shaving service and ordering a subscription to your house. You don't know what you might like, whereas here you've already seen what Gillette does, you know it works, you know it's the best, so you keep buying it. We also believe that not focusing on competing in the e-commerce shave market is the best move for Gillette. As Hunter mentioned, they have e-commerce presence. It's called Gillette On Demand, and it has not been performing as well as Gillette would have liked, and there's been ample capital put into the project. We don't foresee a way to kind of make that change in the near future. Maybe after the hype of Dollar Shave Club and Harry's goes down a little bit, but as of right now, that is not where Gillette's target and key consumer lies. So this innovative distribution of targeting couples aligns with Gillette's brand that focuses on innovation and creativity. So the Gillette founder said that as soon as they stop being able to make better razors, they're going to stop making razors. They've made the best razors, now they just need to find the best way to market them to the entire public. As we said, this is going to open up an entire new kind of sector for Gillette, which we believe will increase capital over the next 5 years. So we're trying to maintain Gillette's brand, which is very important as it's a family brand. 68% of Gillette users live in a 2 to 4 person household, so it's a largely known family name. So we're trying to maintain that brand while expanding to the new demographic. And we're hoping that by doing this, we will also establish lifelong brand loyalty, as I mentioned, by having the Gillette razor in the home with the Venus razor, and just kind of expanding that for as long as possible. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed our presentation, and that's the end.
We can just flip through our appendix real quick. So with Gillette's on-demand service, as you can see, every fourth order is free. So because Gillette's trying to cut costs, this, as Jake mentioned, this doesn't really align with their brand of being high quality and having high quality products. And so this is part of the reason why their online service isn't performing as well as they had hoped. And then again, some stats about online web traffic for razor subscription sites. And then, as we see here, Dollar Shave Club is dominating online razor market shares. Again, just another source to point out Gillette razor sales decline. And then this is just information pulled from P&G's income statement regarding the grooming market.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.